We're recording.
Hi, it's Natalie and Sarah.
Hi. So I just started recording the webinar. Wanted to talk about a little bit of update with what we've been doing. Has everyone checked out our development server at the Viewfind Plus? Is there anyone that has not had a chance to do that yet?
I have not had. This is Mary Lee.
Okay. So one of the things that we're going to be doing is actually making a new link, which we're going to send to you later this week, that will be democat.einetwork.net. So it'll remind you that it's a demo and it's the catalog. So it'll be a steady link instead of trying to have Viewfind Plus. We've been getting lots of search examples in. So we have, if you want to look at the test searches submitted to date, some of the ones that are kind of duplicates, we've done a little bit of combining, but there's quite a few examples. So thank you for submitting those. So there's a long list. We're going to be working on we've been working on Overdrive integration, and have the people that have gone on to the site, have you had a chance to actually get on to Viewfind Plus and check out an item from Overdrive?
No.
Would you like to walk through it?
Yes.
Okay. So let's go to Overdrive. And I'm going to show my screen. So can everyone see a Viewfind Plus login screen?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to search for a particular title. And I see one here that says access online, and you'll see the availability says it's available from Overdrive. So when I click the access online, I'll see that it's in an Adobe PDF, and this is actually being screen scraped right from the Overdrive site. So if I go to click Checkout, it asks me how long I want to check it out. And I can go ahead and proceed to download those titles from my account. So it will show me the items that I've checked out in Overdrive. So I can actually, and this will also show in Overdrive. If I go over to the Overdrive account and I log into Overdrive and log into my digital account directly from Overdrive, I can see the item that I just checked out.
But I think the real point is that you don't have to do that. I mean,
Right.
this is what
Right.
we've been looking for in the catalog, in the Next Generation catalog with the ebooks, is that you can actually see your all your items that are checked out right here from the catalog without ever having to leave this site. And you can also see, your print materials or videos or whatever other physical materials you had from the library. They would be shown here as well.
So I don't have to click through to the Overdrive site. I can go ahead, I'm still in Viewfind Plus, and here I am downloading this title right to my PC. So some things that we have, then we were able to see the availability in Overdrive, and we were able to check out and download all from within Viewfind. So I can go up here and I can see my checked out items in Overdrive. I can see things that I have placed on hold in Overdrive in my Viewfind Plus account, and I can remove something. So I'm canceling my hold in Overdrive, and it's removed that. And I can also look at my wish list, and from my wish list I can either remove, I can place a hold, or I can check out. So say I want to place a hold on for a Kindle book. And it says I'm already on the waiting list. How about this one? I can check this one out right from my wish list. And now I've checked out that item. And now that I've checked it out, I can remove it. So the other thing that's actually being in development now is that we're also looking at, you'll see in the material type filters, you'll see Adobe PDF ebook and Kindle book, so that you can actually, in your filters, if you have a Kindle device, if you're looking for a particular ebook format, this will show up in the facet. So this is something that's currently being developed with Viewfind Plus, but it should help users be able to go right to the things that are compatible with their device.
That's great.
So does anybody have any now keep in mind this is just Overdrive. So it's not looking at any other ebook formats. This is just Overdrive.
So are there thoughts, questions, comments from the group?
I think it's fantastic. This is Helen. The integration is wonderful. Thank you so much for working on this.
Well, that's good. Is there what things do you think are most important for the users?
I think it's really important that they obviously see what they have out in their account with all these different formats, but also the way you're working on the search functions is very important to make the searches smarter so that the system will kind of know when you search for a title to give you the most popular result first and not just some alphabetical list. Everybody knows how Google works and how Amazon works, and I think we need to work more like that.
Okay. Other comments?
I would just second everything she just said.
Okay. Either specifically about Overdrive or in general.
You know, another thing I have to say I really like is your natural language on the pages, you know, where you say 18 are on the shelf, 19 are available. You know, it's not, we're not using library jargon.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's, patrons are really going to like that.
So I think some of the things we've talked about with the patrons is kind of, you know, one scenario where maybe they're accessing the catalog from home, and it's like they want to see how many copies total are available, but they don't really care where it is because they're just going to place a request for it and ask to pick it up. And other scenarios when they're in the library and they want to see what's available on the shelf right now that they can go pull off the shelf. And another situation might be where they have something they need right now and they're looking to see what's the closest library that has an available copy. Can you think? Can anyone think of any other scenarios that they've encountered with patrons? Or do those make sense?
They make a lot of sense, June. You know, there's also the scenario where a patron doesn't remember the exact title and they've got a couple words.
Okay.
And I think the fact that we can make these searches smarter is going to help in that kind of scenario.
Okay.
I just think what you're doing is just fantastic.
Okay. Any other comments from anyone else?
Just that I agree. It looks great so far.
Okay. So what we're working on now, what have you been hearing generally from any of your other, what's been the feedback generally within the library?
I haven't gotten any yet.
Okay. What do you think, are there things that do you think would be helpful that would help you communicate about the project that we aren't already doing?
I wasn't sure how much you wanted, like, how many people you wanted to have full access to what we have access to.
Right. Well, I think because this is actually live with our production Millennium system, I think at this point we're still in the stage where, I mean, definitely anybody who has a library card and PIN number could log in. They can place holds. They can check out Overdrive items. They can check out, all those things are really live in the system. So I think we'd like to get some of these features working just a little bit better before we want to start making this available to all the staff. But certainly we want to encourage all of you in the core group to take some time to explore this site, try some searches, see what you think is working, let us know what you think isn't working or isn't the way you'd like to see it. I mean, we're really interested in that kind of feedback. Maybe we could talk just a little bit about sort of what things are kind of work in progress for us. June mentioned that by the end of this week, we expect to send you a new URL that will take you to sort of the next level of development work that we've done now. And some of the things that you're going to see there are some better integration with Millennium. There are some things in this particular environment that aren't working right with Millennium now. Like, I think the number of people on the wait list, that's inaccurate, correct, June?
Correct.
What else?
So I can just run through what we'll be integrating that you'll be able to see from the My Account page. You should be able to place a hold, renew an item, set a PIN if it's blank, change your email address and your notification preference. So basically the things that you can do now in My Account in the catalog, you would be able to do from ViewFind Plus. In addition, what we don't see here is that's important for users is how many people are waiting for an item. You know, like the total number of people, total number of requests in the whole queue. What we won't have is the forgot my PIN, and also the online fine payment. That's what we won't have at this point.
So those are things that we haven't got working yet. Those are things that we're not yet sure we're going to be able to get put together by the end of the first sprint. But those are definitely things that are on the list to address.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the other things that we're working on now, but you won't yet see, even with the new URL, is the option to check multiple material types for filtering at the same time, and have the system to be able to search those and beginning to apply those across multiple facets so that users can be more selective in the things that they want. We're also making some change to how material type kind of show them all, and they'll be organized in a different way. And so those are some things that you can maybe look forward to in the next several weeks, not by the end of the week. But
one of the important things that we're doing with the material types is to make sure that there's a distinction between online material and downloadable material, because different users would be, someone that's looking for downloadable Kindle books is probably not interested in necessarily something that they access online. The other things that we're working on is basically book carts and wish lists that we're working on at the present time. So the one thing about the book cart is you can load things in your book cart and log off, and it will stay in your book cart until you're ready to use them. So it's more like what you see with your account at Amazon. So it's more heavily or more encouraging the user to log on first to access things that they see, different functions that they see, like book carts and requesting.
So with the book cart, this is Sarah. With the book cart, so if they put a downloadable book in their book cart, for example, it's just keeping it there sort of as a placeholder. So if they went back the next day, that would still show up, but it may be checked out by that point. Is that right?
Correct. Correct. And so that's one of the things that we need to consider is what kind of what's the interaction with the patron, you know, if they go put something in their book cart that's available and it's been checked out, you know, and they want to go check it out. So what kind of message do we want to convey to the user at that point? But from there, they can, you know, they can move it, you know, from their book cart to a wish list if they're not ready, you know, if they want to keep it there but they're not ready to check it out yet. Or they could go ahead and like request everything in their cart, or request just, you know, or just look at individual items in their cart.
Now, depending upon where you were sort of playing with this or experimenting, if any of you were going to go online and you know, sort of do some investigation, searching, testing on this system here, the book cart may be persistent if you can put cookies on your machine. That's how the book cart works today, is kind of via cookies. So you may be able to have your cart stay around for a while as long as those cookies are on the machine. So our goal is to make that more permanent, particularly because if you're in the library, cookies are not going to stay on the machine, and so people may want to move from computer to computer and still have their cart go with them, go with their account, if you will.
And also then you don't, it's not storing anything in the cart on a machine, so you don't need to worry about, say on a catalog only machine, you don't need to worry about cookies on there because it's not using those for the cart. It's storing it with the account.
Can I ask a question about two things I'm seeing on this screen with the dog search?
Okay.
I see there's a call number listed underneath where it's available.
Okay.
It's just the first item that is available, or, I mean, I'm surprised to see a call number there when, you know, many libraries catalog things in different spots.
Okay.
Call numbers will be different.
So that call number is basically coming from
First one.
Yeah, because it's picking up the IP address of the IP address of my machine is Carnegie Library, Pittsburgh Main Library.
Okay.
So it knows that I'm in this library, and so it will list things that are in this library first, and that's where the call number is coming from.
So if you were in a different library, if we were in Upper St. Clair, the Upper St. Clair items would be listed first, and the call number that would appear there would be the Upper St. Clair if you had that item.
Okay. And is that tied to the patron's branch preference if they're doing it from home?
It's tied to the home library.
Okay.
Which it picks up. So when you log on, the first time you log on, it creates a profiled record for you in VU Find Plus, and it picks up your home library from Millennium, and that becomes your default preferred library. But what we're looking at being able to do is you'll be able to set, a patron will be able to set their preferred library and two alternate libraries. And so when they're searching for items, you'll be able to see whether it's available at your preferred libraries first.
They're going to love it. Right.
I think
so they won't have to sort through a long list just to see where it is.
Right, right.
And then we also have the ability to, and we're still sort of sorting out whether or not this is the right thing to do or not, but to boost relevancy ranking in searches based upon the patron's preferred libraries. You know, And there's some, there's sort of a lot of questions in that. If the patron is at home or in their office or whatever, do you want to boost the relevancy of things just because it's in their preferred library if they're really looking for something specific? Because they're not in their library anyway. So chances are, if they find it anywhere, what they're going to do is request it. It's not like they're going to, run out the door and go get it. So, you probably would rather give them a better search result. But there's a lot of options to kind of think through and decide how we want to do that. But for now, this is kind of how we have it set.
I'm sorry, I have another meeting to go to. I'm going to have to say goodbye. I will see you all in 2 weeks.
Thanks for your feedback, Helen.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. So are there other questions or feedback from anybody else? So we can certainly...
I think I see a possible source of confusion. I really love that it picks up the call number of the home library, but it seems to show that even if the item's not available currently, and I can see my patron seeing that call number go into the shelf and wondering why the book's not there. Do you follow that?
Okay. So we need to make sure that that's clear. We still have some work to do on this display, but that's good to know. Because certainly they would be looking to find that if they see a call number, how to make it clear that that's whether it's available or not.
But I want to emphasize, I love that it picks up the current library. I'm thinking of the patrons working in-house. I love that feature.
So here's another, you'll see here it says it's here. That's another thing.
Ah, yes.
So it's picking up.
And does that literally mean it's here today? It's
right.
available today? Okay, great.
So we'd have something that that we can identify if you're in a library and it's available, that it will be clear that it's.
And if it's not available.
So it would say available in this library, meaning you can go over to the shelf and get it.
And it would be also nice if it said it's checked out right now or something like that.
Right. Right. So there's also nearby libraries here that you see. There's actually a way you can take libraries and for each location designate 2 nearby locations. So that's another thing that could be done. Although if a patron's looking for an item that they can check out now, a nearby location may not necessarily be the easiest one for them to get to. It may be something like near where they live and something near where they work, which may not necessarily be the closest library. But if a patron can set their preferred libraries, then they can do that however they see fit. So they'll see would be if it's available in the library that you're in, if it's available in your preferred libraries, would be the things that would be highlighted when you're looking at where it's available.
So that was kind of the purpose for our webinar today, was to really give you a brief update on some of the features we're trying to work on and what you could expect to see by the end of the week, and do a little bit of overview, particularly around the electronic overdrive types of items and how that was all being integrated. We want to be respectful of all of your time, and so I think unless there are other questions or anything at this moment, we can we can take this feedback and go from here. And hopefully this gives you something to test with and show to others in your library too.
That sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. All right.
This is very convenient. Thanks for arranging this.
Okay. Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.